Vernomatic Productions.
Are you ready?
Live from the Metal Mayhem Studios in Rochester, New York.
We are gold.
And heard around the world by metalheads just like you. This is Metal Mayhem ROC.
Heavy metal music.
Your weekly dose of metal music, interviews, album reviews, news, and more. Want to be part of the show? Send us a message through our website, metalmayhemroc.com, or hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Search Metal Mayhem ROC.
It's getting nice and heavy.
And now, welcome tonight's host, John the Vernomatic Verno.
Metal Walt calling in from New Jersey. John the Vernomatic, he took the day off, so he's handed me the keys to the car. On today's episode, we're speaking to Graham Bonnet. Graham, of course, is best known for his time as singer of Rainbow, MSG, Alcatrazz, Impellitteri, as well as a renowned solo and global touring artist. And he's a true veteran of melodic hard rock. And on the 13th of May, he released a brand new Graham Bonnet Band album, Day Out in Nowhere. Welcome to Metal Mayhem ROC, Graham.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's very wonderful. I had a late night last night, but no, I didn't really. I actually went to the Whiskey to see a band play that Beth-Ami's friend was playing drums in, a female AC/DC band. It was quite good. It wasn't bad. So anyway, I'm here to talk to you, and I'm very happy to do that.
Definitely my pleasure to be able to speak to you, and congratulations on the new release. And doing my research, this album was, I believe, made throughout the pandemic and is the third release in this unit and the follow-up to the 2018 release, Meanwhile Back in the Garage. So before we get into that, just tell me off the top of your head for us and the listeners, just how many albums and or appearances do you think you perform on throughout your career? Your discography must be extensive.
I don't know. I haven't counted, but quite a lot. I've done a lot of sessions for other people. I've worked with people who I work with in Rainbow, Don Airey. I did an album with him. Oh my God, it goes right back to 1968 when I first started recording professionally, kind of thing. And that was with the Bee Gees, who gave me a start in my career. Thanks to Barry Gibb and Robin and Morris Gibb. They were the guys that put me on the road. And since then, since 68, God, I don't know, but quite a lot of albums. And I thank Barry Gibb very much. He's the only one left now, bless their hearts, Yeah. It's their brothers. And they were close friends of mine. But now it's been years since I've seen Barry. I saw him a couple of years ago at the Hollywood Bowl. But there's a lot of albums, probably a couple of hundred. I don't know. I can't count.
That's amazing. So I see that on the new album, the main players are, of course, your longtime collaborators, Conrado Pesinato, if I'm saying it correct, on guitar, and Beth-Ami Heavenstone on bass, both who produced the album, in addition to some other guest musicians, which we'll touch on as we get into some of the songs. So today what we'd like to do is take a deep dive into the album and then sort of take a trip down heavy metal memory lane and revisit some of your past. To kick this off, I must commend you for your singing prowess on this album. I mean, it's hard to believe, I think, if this is correct, that you are 74 years old now. So how just do you keep your voice in such fine condition?
Yeah, everybody asks me that, when they come to shows, and how the fuck do you do that? How old are you now? Yeah, I'll be 75 in December. So I'll be soon 75, and that means 5 years before I'm fucking 80. It's like, oh, bloody hell, It's the years go so damn quick. After you're 40 years old, you're suddenly 50. That I can't believe I'm 74 myself. But the voice thing, I don't know. I've just been very, very lucky. I have, this sounds stupid, I have very large lungs. I take after my granddad Bonnet, which gives me a lot of air to produce those notes. And also, I had a procedure done about, probably about 11, 12 years ago. I found that one of my vocal cords had collapsed, and my throat specialist did a little operation, put some cortisone into that side of my throat, and my voice is okay now. It came back. I mean, it wasn't really bad. It was just getting a bit like, once in a while. What's wrong with my voice? Yeah. So he looked down and he says, yeah, you got some scarring. You'll always have the scarring. But when he did that, I was very happy because I had a more clear voice. And so why, I don't know, because a lot of my friends of my age who are singers don't produce the same voice anymore. They have a different speaking voice, and their singing voice has obviously changed. But I don't know why I've kept mine. I think it's probably from my mom, with genes, I guess. My mom was a singer, my brother was a singer, and I think it's just one of those things. You're kind of born with it. But I'm very lucky, and I don't want this to end because I enjoy singing so much. But obviously sometimes, especially when you're traveling a lot, it can go, it goes out the window, and it's sometimes hard to sing because, I like to sing purely and as much as I can, but tiredness, unhappiness too. If you're unhappy, you can't do it. You got to be happy and sing. So I'm happy now. I'm very happy now. And when we did the album, I was very pleased at the way things were going. And so, I'm a happy boy. That sounds so stupid, but happiness really helps you sing. And
sure does. It's with everything we all do. Tell us a little bit about this band, because you've had a lot of solo bands, probably a lot of guys that have come in and out of your touring unit. What represents the Graham Bonnet Band, the musical style? I mean, tell us about the crafting of the songs. Like, what about this band now?
Well, it's basically, I guess you would call it hard rock. I've even been told that some of the tracks on our album now are progressive prog rock. I didn't see that. I thought, prog rock? Okay. But I'll take that. I'm sort of a bit fed up with people calling me a metal singer or whatever, because I think some of the music is a little bit more developed than just metal. It's good music and hopefully well sung. I really put my heart into this thing, and but I like I like things that have a great chorus. Obviously, I love doing harmony, and I like to write a good story. So this album took, I guess, probably about a year. Because of the COVID thing, probably a bit more than a year actually, to put it together. We had time because nothing was happening. We weren't going to go anywhere. So it's always, for me, I've always got to tell a good story. And so I come up with subjects that aren't usually found in so-called heavy rock songs or metal songs. I don't write words about knights and castles and
right.
Like Ronnie Dio, the Man on the Silver Mountain type of thing, which is, like sort of fantasy. I try to make up songs that are about real stuff, and so a lot of it is like I'm reporting on an event or something that's happened to me, and lots of horrible things have happened to me, so it's about real life. But I think with this album, I think I've done a pretty good job with the lyric, I think. Because everybody's mentioned that's heard it and listened. I think the first album we did with the Graham Bonnet Band, nobody seemed to listen to the lyrics until after they played it a few times. That's the thing I like about what we're doing, because I like to write a story. You can't just go, oh yeah, that's all right. You can't just miss the story. You have to listen to it again and again. Oh, that's what's happening. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Like the Beatles. When I used to buy the Beatles albums, Abbey Road, etc., and songs like Penny Lane, and what's that about? That's a story. It's a folk song, basically. And that's how I try to write my words. A good story where people are interested from the first line. Like I can say one of the lines that was kind of what does that mean? From a song called Hiroshima Mon Amour, which I did with my band Alcatrazz. The opening line is, it was newborn and 10 feet tall, but they called it little boy. Now that sort of says, what the fuck, what does that mean? But that's what it was. And in the video, you see the bomb and it's written on it as little boy in the video. Anybody's seen it. But lines like that open up the things for the listener to become inquisitive and wonder what the rest of the bloody song is going to be about. So that's what I did on this album. And the guys, the rest of the guys in the band were just saying, that's the way, Graham, that's you, No, I probably put my stamp on it.
You absolutely did, Graham, because I followed your career, and I will say I'm probably 10 listens through this new album. So I've absorbed it, and I'm a big old school guy. I like to follow the track order because I know there's some blatant and intentional ways you place the songs in there. So, and they're very thoughtful, creative, and unique, let's say, plots in each of the songs. So let's get into it. I'm going to get right into the album. So let's go into the title track, Day Out and Nowhere. To the listeners that maybe haven't heard this album, this is, an upbeat and very melodic song, or some really good power chords here. And this story, to me, it seems to portray here that there's this sort of beautiful world that we live in. And then, like the snap of the fingers, it just changes dramatically. You use the line, "Where did we go on that afternoon? Was it a day out in nowhere?" And, I then even looked at that lyric and I looked back at the album cover, and there it is. You standing outside this door, and it's surrounded by this dry, cracked earth and gray skies. And then, of course, you have your token guitar there. So,
yes.
tell us a little bit about the message, about the title track, the album title, the cover artwork, and even a little bit about your token signature guitar there.
Well, the guitar is it's a Hofner guitar, which I've been playing for years. I've always had a Hofner since the Beatles days, because I saw Paul McCartney playing a Hofner, and that was it for me. So I have a few Hofner guitars. I have an endorsement with Hofner, so it's kind of cool. But that one is a very old guitar. It's about probably 1959 or something like that. It's a real jazz guitar, like a dance band guitar. So I used to be in a dance band when I was a kid, playing my Hofner back then, the Hofner Committee. That isn't the same guitar, but that's how I sort of had my upbringing, was playing within a dance band and singing, "She gets too hungry for dinner around 8, hey, and where are you from?" All that kind of stuff. But it was a great training ground, because we did so many different kinds of songs. You had to have a different voice for different songs. We sang a couple of Beatles songs or whatever, along with all these sort of standards. But the song itself, and the Day Out in Nowhere, we were in Russia, of all places, which is not a very friendly place at the moment. Right. But, we were in Russia, and we were driving through the countryside, and in a van, and I was looking out the window, and I was going to myself, "God, it's quiet out there. What's happening?" I couldn't see any life, and no sign of life. There were no horses in the fields. All of a sudden, this happened. We're driving along before this happened, and there was like horses and birds flying, et cetera, and dogs barking. And so we got to this particular area, and suddenly there was nothing. The fields were empty, and I opened the window, and I thought, well, there's no dogs barking like there were, a few miles back. And I looked in the sky. There were no birds whatsoever, nothing. And another thing, I thought, well, there's got to be something around. There'll be something dead on the road. The road was completely clean, absolutely clean. There was no roadkill. You find roadkill everywhere, wherever you drive. But the road, it looked like it'd been vacuumed. There was nothing there. And I said to the guys in the band, I said, "Do you notice anything funny about this area?" Now, no. So look in the sky. Do you see any birds? No, there aren't any birds. Just listen. Do you hear any cattle, or do you hear any dogs or anything out there, live? No. And I think, well, what I've heard from other people, what happens on farmlands, they sometimes use electricity or gas to keep away, say, foxes or whatever from destroying the crops and stuff like that. But this went on for about 10 miles. And it was so freaking weird. I thought, where the hell are we? What's happened? Wow. We went for a fucking black hole or whatever. And we were coming into a city, and I said to the guys in the car, I said, you look in the sky in a few minutes. I bet you there'll be birds flying, because we're coming into a city. Yeah. For some reason, I thought, well, nothing would have happened there. Nobody's been gassed or electrocuted. And sure enough, as we came into where the city boundary, there were birds and cows in the fields and stuff. It was a strange moment. So that's where the idea of that came from. It's kind of a funny. It was just an odd thing that day, just very, very odd. And so Conrad, our guitar player, he said, well, what we should have for the cover is something where you're standing in a completely empty space. And he said, maybe have a door but so you can go through that door and return to where you came from, or something like that. Leave a bit of mystery there why the door is there. And that was his idea. But the story of the song is just that day.
Wow. So it really is almost an autobiographical. I wasn't sure if this was a little play on COVID, how life changed overnight, but it was really your road trip through Russia.
Yeah, I mean, it was so fucking weird. I mean, it really was. Yeah. It's like, it was a bit scary in a way. Yeah. What's happened?
Say you weren't near Chernobyl or anything like that, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, I thought it's a good idea for a song, and so that's where that song came from.
Well, that's great. So on to the song Imposter. Now this is sort of the lead track on the album, the first video. And for you listeners out there, you have to check out the 2 videos that Graham put together with his band. They are just really, really well done, cool acting, some great different stuff in there. This is sort of that fast-paced rocker, very heavy, and perhaps synonymous with the sound that you've been known for your career as a hard rock artist. I think that video is pretty clever. It's sort of you and the current band performing while you see all kinds of performances from your past playing on these old TVs in the background, and then you kind of look at yourself now in the mirror, seeing a reflection of younger you. And I think your humor comes out here, and your lyrics in a way are very introspective, and I think it's here. Who are you, the pretender? Now that I can see that stranger reflecting, that man is me. But I really love the line, no one wants to hear, God, you look good after all those years. So
everyone wants to hear that. You meet someone, after like 40 years of not seeing them, you go, God, you look great. Everybody's waiting for that compliment. And I know I won't get it because I thought, for a long time, I was dyeing my gray hair dark, and before that I was dyeing my hair freaking blonde and whatever. But I thought, well, I'm old now. I am older, and I'll live with that. My hair is gray. It's thinning. It's falling out. I'm going to admit that I'm older. I'm glad I am. What's the alternative? And so I look in the mirror and I see this young guy and I go, yeah, I mean, I wish I did look like that. I want to return to that time because I had a wonderful time, growing up within the music business, especially, as I said, with the Bee Gees being my friends and everything, and really getting to know the business and how to perform, I love my time in Rainbow, for instance. That was when I thought I looked pretty sharp, Yeah. Everyone was going, what the fuck is this short hair?
Oh, it was very 1979. That was the thin ties, the red pants, the helicopter sunglasses, exactly. The slick back hair, right?
What's that all about, And I remember one of the first gigs we did, people were giving me the finger, going, Ronnie, all this was going on. And that first night, I remember we did a song called Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, which is an old Shirelles song, which we did once in a while. It was one of Richie's favorite songs I recorded on one of my solo albums. And there were these guys down front really getting angry at me for being short-haired and not, flowing robes and, whatever. And so we did Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? And there were about five young guys. And so I went over to where they were at. I sat down on the stage, and tonight you're mine, complete. And I sang them, and they laughed, and they were going, "All right, we're on your side."
He's in. He's in. We like him now.
Yeah, that was a fun night. But and after that first gig, people kind of knew I had short hair and whatever else. And they accepted me because I was nothing like Ronnie. I didn't sing like him. I didn't look like him. And in the first place, I didn't want to be in the band because I didn't think I fit anyway. I thought, well, when I went for the audition, I thought, well, I'm not like them. I don't wear the spandex pants and the, everything, all that kind of thing. The uniform of a hard rock band. I went to the audition. I was wearing my suit with a tie, a gray suit with a tie, and a sweater underneath the jacket. Cozy Powell used to say, "Oh, here comes the bank manager." After a while, I got used to that. Because Cozy, my best friend, he became my best friend. Him and Don, we were very close. And so, I went back to London after doing the audition for the band because they gave me the job. And I said to my manager, I don't think I fit in this band at all. I don't look like them. And they're very, sort of whatever. They're not my thing because I was doing like R&B and pop music. That was my thing. Or just weird music, anything, but not this so-called heavy rock deal. And so he said, no, Graham, you should go back and carry on and record with the band. He was thinking about money for himself, of course,
sure.
Which I never saw. I never saw a freaking penny of it. But he made a great deal of money out of me joining Rainbow. And he was actually right because when I did go back and work with Roger Glover in the studio and Richie, it just was an eye opener. And I thought, oh, I can do this. I can use a different voice and have a different kind of energy. But now I get it. I hear all this sort of semi-classical music. Where's the verse go? Da, da, da. So Roger Glover helped me. I said, we should put a verse here. I'll give you a little bit of a melody here, and you ad lib on that, and then we'll write some words later. So with every song on that album, we had about 4 different takes of each song. And then we changed the words later on. If Rich will come here and listen to them and say, no, I like this one best, I like this one best. And then we carry on with it, develop it more. But Roger Glover wrote all the words, but I wrote the top line, the vocal line, But I was never credited for it, which was something I didn't realize I was doing. Somebody said to me, who made up the melodies? I said, well, I did. And they said, well, where's your credit? Oh, because I was very green. I was doing all solo stuff by myself, solo stuff, and I wasn't ready for this. And Graham, you're a songwriter. I am, But the experience itself was worth giving up that thing, I think. But
and I think listen, you single-handedly you impacted and had an impact, and you changed the sound of that band from that neoclassical style to the more melodic. Yeah. Radio-friendly style. And again, you would leave, Joe Lynn Turner would come in and they would even go up another step on that. And then you look at Richie's career, he ended up going into, sort of the night stuff with Candace, his wife. Yeah. So I think, you certainly had an imprint on his sound throughout his career. So credit to you, whether you truly get the royalties and the credit, that's a shame you didn't, but it's always going to be a big part of your career. So, yeah. Back to the new album, the next track I want to talk about. That's okay. Yeah. 12 Steps to Heaven. It's kind of a heavy song. It's a heavy musical song and heavy in the topic structure, but I think there's some nice piano in there. This one's obvious. This song is about sort of the 12-step program, the substance abuse and recovery, and it has the character questioning the motives behind it and maybe perhaps minimizing the road to recovery, only to say, wow, this is not as easy as I thought it would be. You kind of get very emotional in the song, and you say certain things like, man, I risked this. I thought this was going to be easy and nobody could tell me how to do it. But it hit me hard. So talk about this song. I mean, why did you choose this subject matter? I mean, was this personal to you in some sort of way, if you don't mind asking?
Yeah, no, I don't mind you asking at all. It's I mean, I'm in AA, for instance, but I don't go to meetings. I try to understand what the big book of alcoholics is. I've looked through it, and damned if I can understand it. I don't understand why someone can write down 12 rules if this is what you do to be a better person. I didn't understand that at all. So that's what it's about, the confusion of how to live a better life and not drink. Why, Bill W., why did he write, why does most alcoholics follow this book, the 12 steps? And I don't see why so many people are sort of into it and take it so seriously why can't there be another book of rules or no rules at all? As long as you don't drink and get fucked up, and you become a better person on your own. And that's what I say in the song, I think. I thought I could do this all on my own. Nobody told me it would be this hard, but it is. It was. I don't drink now at all. And, I drink water. But that's what it's about. And it's just a confusion of the instructions of the book, the big 12-step thing. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And some of my friends don't get it either. So what I've done, there's a place near us now that's for atheists and all the rest of it, AA meetings. And because the meetings I've been to, they involve, praying and God and everything, which again, I'm not religious at all, never have been. So that's just something I will look into. I don't know, I haven't been to a meeting yet, but I don't know how that would run without all the prayers and, the end of the meeting, everybody holding hands and blah, blah, blah. It's, I'm not making fun of them, but I don't connect with them at all in any way. And so I tried going to meetings where it was all musicians and a lot of, well-known musicians. And I found that was all too much buddy, hey man, how you doing? Hey, yeah, it was all like this. I'm going, nah, I couldn't join in with this. It didn't suit me either. But everybody was very friendly on this particular Zoom meeting, but I didn't know them very well, but I knew who they were, famous musicians. So I felt kind of out of that too. I didn't really belong to that. So that's why I'm going to try something else if I have to. But I think I'm a pretty good person. I don't drink at all. I can be around booze, I pour booze for the guys or whatever. It doesn't faze me at all. And it never crosses my mind about, oh God, I've got to have a fucking drink. This day is fucking horrible. Whereas years ago, it was like, is this the best the day is going to be? Shit, I've got to do something about it. So the chemical comes in. Oh yeah, I'm all right now. And then another one, then another one, then another one, then another one.
Well, I give you credit for tackling a sensitive subject and putting yourself out there and into a song, and that's really commendable.
I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So the next track, Brave New World. This one features Roy Z, legendary Roy Z on guitar. Some great melodic vocals and guitar work. A really good killer lead riff on this one. I like the fantasy about this one. Girl and boy, breaking the mundane of the relationship. A bit of sexual imagery here. You have the black latex suit reference. It seems like the girl wants more. The guy is bored. He doesn't do enough. The girl leaves. Do I have a story right? So tell us a little bit about this one and maybe how Roy Z ended up in your camp on this one.
Well, Roy Z is a friend of our guitar player, Conrado. That's how he came along, and he came to the house, and what a lovely guy he is, really great guy. Guitar players can be a bit weird sometimes. Guitar players and singers are a fucking pain in the ass. So you know what I mean? It's I'm on stage now, and I want to play my guitar. Okay, And yeah, he came over, and I felt like I'd known him for years. Anyway, he wrote this track. And I said to Beth, I said, what? I'm running out of subjects now. What the fuck can I write this about, And I thought, something came on TV. I think I was watching American Horror Story or something. And there was this woman with a black zipper latex thing, went all the way to her head, top of her head, a little hole in, that kind of thing. And I thought, oh, I know. I can write it about a girl who wants her husband to be turned on by this, fetishes, fetish. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Whips and chains. No, not whips and chains. But something completely different from their boring sex life, the missionary position or whatever, So that's what it's about, basically, about a girl having fun with her boyfriend or whatever and saying, hey, let's try something different. It's a brave new world. And that's exactly what it's about. Very simple.
It was good. I like that one. I think the listeners' creativity on that one. So, nice job on that one. Uncle John. Now we're back to the dark side again. Uncle John. For the listeners here, this is the other video. This one's really this is a great video. It's a song, I suppose, about a guy, a character that in the mind portrays a person that's impeccable. You use the lyric persona divine, and that tells it all, which in reality, this person is the farthest from the truth. But, in the video, you sort of have this main actor. He's orchestrating his moves in the classroom as a teacher, and he's very synced up with the music. He's got the props, and then all of a sudden it gets darker and darker. It goes from the happy guy to the smiling eyes mask to the nun statue and the dolls and the music box. It's the song really, really builds, but the story gets disturbing as the actions progress. Yeah. So I have heard that there might be some truth to this story. And it was actually something that you read about in the English press or something. So talk about this one. What made you tackle this subject, and what was the real, news about this character?
Well, it's something that's, in fact, I was watching a thing the other day about a guy called Jimmy Savile, who was a DJ in England. And he used to host Top of the Pops, all those, shows that I knew him pretty well. And he was put in jail. He was like, he was taking little girls to his apartment, 13-year-old kids or less. And he was put away, and he was a hero in that country. He was knighted. You probably don't know who he is, but it's a great documentary. It's called A British Horror Story, I think. That's what it's called.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, and it's real. This guy is, hello, my darling, how are you? You know, he's one of those guys that he had his own show. He hosted Top of the Pops, you know, the pop shows, the music show, and all that kind of thing. He met the Queen. He was knighted. He used to take the Duke of Edinburgh around in his car, in big Rolls Royce. He made millions of dollars, this guy. But he turned out to be a fucking arsehole or asshole, you know, whatever you want to, you know, an arsehole, you know, different spelling. But what the idea came to me, not from that at all. It's at my school, there was a teacher came in. He was a deputy teacher, and he called himself John Smith. And so Mr. Smith taught every bloody, you know, subject. He did geography, history, math, English, you know, everything. He was like, you know, he was a very nice guy, apparently. All the girls really loved him. And some of the guys loved him too. He was always very friendly and walking down the hallways with the girls and giggling and laughing, telling jokes with them and all that kind of stuff. And he stayed for a while. I think he stayed for about 2 or 3 months teaching us, you know. And one day we found out he'd been fired. And all the kids were shocked because they liked John Smith. He was a good teacher. Mr. Smith, we love Mr. Smith. Oh, he's gone? Yeah, the headmaster fired him. Oh, that's a shame. That really is, you know, really sad. Kids were crying, I think, but they were upset because this great guy had gone. And so anyway, months later, I was looking at the News of the World paper, or I said in the song, was it the News of the World or some of those Sunday rags? You know, the producer, they're like the Enquirer. You think, oh, it's all bullshit stuff. But I opened this paper, the News of the World, whatever paper it was, I don't remember. But it was a Sunday paper, and I remember opening it, and it said, pedophile arrested, you know, for this, and this happening, what he'd done, you know. And there was a photograph of him. And I looked at it, and I thought, what? That's him. And I couldn't believe it. And that's the line in the song again. Wait a minute. That can't be him. Wait a minute, it is. You know, I was quite shocked because it was John Smith. It was our John Smith. And that's where the Uncle John comes from, you know. And then I've seen, programs about pedophiles and their lifestyle. And there was one I watched where it was explained how these guys would approach children. And it'd be like, I'm a friend of your dad's. You know, your dad, he works at where does he work? Yeah, there, he works there. Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday. He said to me to meet you, to get you from school. You know, I'll take you home if you like. Do you want to go get an ice cream as well? And you can call me Uncle John. You can call me Uncle John. It could be Uncle Dave. It could be Uncle anything. But you can call me Uncle, you know, I'm your dad's friend. I'm your uncle. I'm his cousin. Oh, okay. And that's what would happen to these kids. And that's kind of, it's like two different people in one song rolled into one character. You know what I mean? But it's a touchy subject, and we didn't want to go too stupid with the video. And I think it's very subtly done. You know, we didn't use real kids, but we thought we used real kids. No, we used dolls. It was dolls, but it's still as menacing. You know. Yeah. I think they actually did a great job.
No, they did an amazing job on it. I really love that one.
Yeah, just the movements he made. Yeah. It's really creepy. I really like that. I like the song. I really do.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. So appreciate you getting in depth on that one. So
yeah, it's a bit of a long story, but you know.
Yeah, hey, it's something that exists in society in all of our lives. I mean, I'm a parent of 4 young kids, and what's the first thing you do when they're little? You say, hey, be on the lookout for your kid. Be a lookout. Don't always look around the schoolyard. Don't trust anybody. You never know who's in the background. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's reality.
I remember my dad saying something to me. There was a guy in my hometown when I was a kid. You know, I had my first electric guitar, and this guy works at one of these holiday camps, Butlins Holiday Camp or something, which is like an entertainment place. There's all kinds of, like Vegas kind of thing. Yeah. And I don't know, I met him in the street or something. Weird this is. And he said, oh, you're a guitar player, and you've got an electric guitar. I said, yeah. I said, but I haven't got an amplifier yet. And he said, oh, I can make you one. But this was his thing to draw me in. Yeah. He said, I can make you one. If you come to my house in blah, 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 here's my address. And he gave me his address, and I took it home, you know, and I said, this man wants to make me an amp dad, you know. And he said, no. He said, if you do go there, take some friends with you. So a couple of my friends went with me to this place, and the guy was shocked. He said, oh, I thought you were coming on your own. It was one of those things. And you had cakes on the table, all laid out, and some fizzy pop or something. And Lou said to me, that's my dad, sorry, Lou Bonnet. I always called him Lou. I never called him Dad. And he said to me, he said, well, you know, Graham, he said, some men, like boys, they fall in love with them. They love them. And that's all he said to me. He didn't take it anywhere else. Yeah. But that was kind of, you know, so I didn't go there anymore with my friends. Right. You know, he was shocked. This guy was shocked that I brought, you know, some friends with me. That ruined his plan.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad to say.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So next track up, we want to talk about The Sky is Alive. This is one of my personal favorites. It's got that Middle Eastern vibe to it, sort of that edgy, impending doom feel to the song, and sort of has that science fiction storyline there. And I love, you know, sort of the female vocal texture added in the back. I assume that's Beth singing, but you know, it's kind of a song. It seems like a song about the universe or maybe the mystery of aliens or something. So really, really good one for the listeners. So give us a little on this one. Yeah,
well, it's a phenomenon that actually happens. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it recently, but I saw some stuff on the news about this noise from the sky. And it actually sounds like, if you imagine you know, a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, it sounds like a monster. And sometimes it sounds just like a heavy machine or something, but it's like, and it's everywhere, and it's coming from above. It's not coming from ground or, you know, or just over the road. And they thought it was something to do with mining or whatever, but it's not. They checked it out in different towns in different countries. It's all over the world, this thing. And it's this weird noise that comes from the sky. And nobody to this day knows really what it is. Are we being, it is like, what is it? Is it something bigger than us and they're watching us? We're on a little, you know, ball there, and they're going, oh, no, you're doing that wrong. No, you know, whatever. We're in the goldfish bowl, and this thing is showing us the way to lead a better life or kill each other. Oh, there's too many of you now. You're all going, you know, there should be a war now. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's I don't know what it is, but if you sort of Google that, you know, noises from the sky, you'll find all these different sounds, and it's for real. And it's not some kind of joke like on Facebook or something. It is for real. And I remember one guy in England, it was on the news in England, and they took their cameras to his house, and this was happening. He said, well, you know, and he said, well, can you hear it? Can you hear that? And you know, they all said, no. Wait. And the guy opens the window, and there's this rumbling sound, this monster sound. And then he goes, the hell is that? And they went outside, and something outside, it must be something, you know, something traffic or something. And everybody goes outside, the news people, and there's nothing there. There's no traffic. There's no whatever. It was definitely coming from above. So the sky is alive.
Love it. You know, I think that would be a great song to be playing live with the band too. I hope that one's going to make it in your set list.
We're going to do that.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, so the next two songs, I really find these next two songs fun, and I call them, they go together, the yin to the yang. You have David's Mom and then We're Asleep. So whether you blatantly wrote these and placed these in that order, I don't know, and you can comment on that, but David's Mom is a fun song. I can almost close my eyes and remember being a kid, 10 years old in 1980, turning on MTV and seeing this song on TV. It's that simple rocker of a song, real catchy riff. And of course, for the listeners ones, this is a funny one. It's that teenage boy fantasy story where he's out with his buddy, and his buddy's mom is going to drive him to town. And then his buddy's mom has to get dressed up with the heels and the perfume, and the imagery of the flirtation and the sexual tension builds up. It's sort of like that every teenage boy's dream, something out of like Beavis and Butthead. You know, then you have the other side of it, which is When We're Asleep, which reminds me a lot of like a story you would say about a typical married couple, you know, where
absolutely, that's exactly what it is.
The ups and downs. And the clever line that you say, the only time we don't fight is when we're asleep because we disagree. Clever and humorous, very good tongue in cheek. So I love the yin to the yang to the yi. So tell us about this pair of songs, Graham.
Well, David's mom, I looked up David's mom to see what she actually died about a year ago. She was 92. Yeah, but I was at that. I mean, she was a very young. I guess you'd be probably in her 20s at that time. When I'd be, I don't know, probably about 9 or something. And anyway, I went to see David to call on him, and we were going to go to town, you know, as the song says. And David's mom comes into the room and says, "No, hold on, I'll take you in the car. It won't take me, 5 minutes." And she said, "Just a minute, I just got to get ready." And I sat down on the couch and I'm looking around, waiting for her to get ready. And then I noticed over the chair was a pair of black nylon stockings, and they're hanging by the fire. And they were warming up, for their legs, like they did back then. But it was cold weather, I think. But I can see it now. Those things hanging there, and I'm like, oh. I look at them, what are they there for? Anyway, and then she comes back into the room. I remember she had a very tight black dress on that was about to her knees, I guess. And she said, "Are you all right, Graham?" She gave me a kiss. And she said, well, "Just a minute, I've just got to get ready. I've just got to finish dressing." And she goes over and picks those stockings up. And she's standing in front of me, still talking to me. And, the skirt goes up, and the garter belt comes down, and these black stockings. And I'm going, I don't know what to do. I knew I felt something, but I didn't know what the fuck it was. Should I be looking at it? I thought I should turn away, but I couldn't. I couldn't turn away. And I think she enjoyed it. She was watching me. And I think she knew she blew my mind, I think that's the line in there. She did. I was like, I can't look away, but it's bloody good, this.
Yeah.
And I remember that to this day. And I saw some photographs of her when she got older, and she was still good looking.
Yep.
She's beautiful. But she died not so long ago. She was 90 years old.
Wow.
And I found David as well. So it's,
cool of you to go back in that mental history of yours from being a kid and painting that picture forward that can be relatable to any new generation, right?
Yeah, I mean, people can identify with that. I'm not the only one, That's another thing when you're writing songs. It's like, will people relate to this? And I think that's why I write about real life if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next song here, I love this one too. And this is the one that features Don Airey. It's just called It's Just a Freaking Song. And it's, like I say, it's sort of the Graham Bonnet Band plays Deep Purple in a way. And he really adds to the texture. And in a way, it's sort of ironic and a little tongue-in-cheek that the struggle you talk about in the lyrics about why is it so hard to make a story for a 3-minute song and it takes you weeks and months, yet you bring in Don Airey. And I say to myself, well, when Graham and the band were writing this, were they struggling? And were they stuck in that dilemma? And they had to say, we need a 6th member of the band to come in here. Who's going to be that person to put it over the edge? And here comes Don Airey. But it really is a cool little track, and it's got that classic Hammond organ in there. So really, really nice. And it brings your long collaboration with him and your friendship back in. So tell us about this one with Don.
Well, with Don, I'd never written a song with Don. I know Don was in Rainbow and everything, but he wrote songs with everybody else but me,
Okay.
And so this was like a first for me and him. We never written a song together. And I thought, well, it's all that Hammond thing. Yes, very John Lordy, very Don Airey, very Deep Purple-y, very, very much like that. And I thought, well, what can I write it about? And I'm looking at the blank page there. I have my notebook, and I'm going. I just said to myself, what can I write? What's the subject here? It's just a fucking song. I just said it's just a fucking song to myself. So I told that to Conrado or to Beth-Ami, I can't remember who, probably both of them. And so I can't say fucking. Okay, fricking. It's just a freaking song. And how hard it is and how long it takes to write this song that only lasts probably about 4 minutes, It takes weeks and weeks, or probably days or whatever. It takes a long time, hours of, wondering what can I make this song up about, Oh, 1 second.
Take your time.
It's the keyboard player. Yes, it is. Hey, come on, man. I'm just doing an interview.
Can I use the bathroom quick? And then
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How are you doing? All right? Yeah, I'm back. Hello.
So there's your keyboard player. Bring him on the air. Say hi.
He's going to the bathroom. How are you doing?
How you doing? We're interviewing Graham about the new album. Great work on the album.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
You can go to the bathroom. Yeah. Don't make a mess. That's basically what it's about. And I think Don, I love the middle part. Those chord changes. Da, 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 da. There's some great changes in the middle before the chorus comes along. I really like that bit. And it was really hard to put harmony with that. I'm going, is that a major chord? Is that a minor? Is that a diminished? And so really listen to every note that Don played to get the harmony right for that little bit. But I think it's turned out pretty well, surprisingly, because I thought, I'm just throwing this away a bit. But it's turned out to be a little humorous one that has some kind of connection with the rest of the world, I guess.
No, it's a good one. I enjoy that one. So we got two left on the new album before maybe we touch just a bit on Alcatrazz, MSG, and maybe your plans for 2022. So Jester. So this is another cool one. It's a proggy type song. I think you brought that up early. But I think, of course, it has the signature of Jeff all over it, and his unique talents. It's got that fierce vibe to it. I think when you look at the subject matter, it was obvious that this was probably written at the time of our former president, but it could also relate to our current president. It could relate to the guy in Russia. It can relate to anybody. But I think it's a song of the time. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, you're absolutely right. And you win. A lovely couch, it's you've got it right. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, I had the opening line, and it was a bit too obvious at first. I said something with this orange man, and Beth-Ami said to me, "Oh, you can't get that. It gives it away too much. You can't call it, because you know what he looks like,
Yeah.
And so she said, why don't you say Twisted Man or something? And it is about him and how people follow him, and I don't understand it, but he's a joke, and he's still trying to get back into politics again, and I can't believe it. I'm not politically minded anyway, but this guy is totally bananas, I mean, I don't know if you're a fan either, I don't know.
Yeah. Are you? I try to stay out of politics, to be honest. I don't care enough about it.
No, I don't either, because nothing changes no matter who's in.
Exactly.
I remember in England, my dad always used to say that. It doesn't matter, Graham. It's going to be the same. Nothing will change, whether it's Labour or Conservative. That were the two parties that were big there, So, it is about him. And if I offend anybody, I hope I don't. But it's, I'm just taking a humorous look at our world of wonderful politics or people that try to be politicians. He's really not. I remember watching something on TV. I was telling Beth-Ami about it. It was asked about, what do you think about the Ukraine? And he starts talking about windmills. He said, well, windmills are causing cancer. The windmills, and the electricity, and he's talking about what? He didn't answer the question at all, which was very strange. But that's what it's about. And I don't mean to offend anyone who is a fan of Donald Trump. I'm sure he's a wonderful one.
And it's funny now that you think about it, Graham, when you wrote these songs probably 2 years ago, a year or two ago, it was also the state of the world then, right? Things are different now. They might be crazy different with a whole different set of, president and that kind of cabinet, but it really was just a period of time in there. So
what happened? I mean, that mob thing, where he said, "We'll go and," he told them basically to go and do what they did, and it's all going down right now in court, about what are they going to do with this guy? I mean, some of those people have been arrested and put in jail, but there are thousands of them. I couldn't believe what I was watching live on TV. So if I offend someone or anyone, I'm sorry.
I doubt that's going to happen, Graham. You're a classy man of well-spoken man. You're not gonna piss anybody off. So on to the final track on the album, Susie. So this one, boy, it threw me off when I heard it. I actually closed my eyes and I said, "Wow, am I listening to the Titanic soundtrack or something here?" But it's truly a love story. After you listen to it, I was playing it again today on my daily walk. Just an amazing vocal performance. Just great job by you. For the listeners, this is something out of a movie soundtrack with orchestration and everything. So why now on this one in with a hard rock melodic album?
Yeah, well, we lost a friend called Susie in England. She used to come to all our gigs when we played in England, and she used to bring us like cakes and stuff she'd made, or give Beth-Ami a gift of rings or whatever. She was really close to Beth-Ami, and Beth-Ami just said to me, "Why don't you write a song about Susie? Because she was such a great person." And when she died, I was on the phone with her husband, and he was talking to me, and he said, "Graham, let me tell you how it happened." And the line is in the song. He said she just looked at me and smiled, and then she was gone. And I put that line. I'm sorry, I'm cracking. I put that line in the song. But when I heard the orchestration, I was blown away. You said it's like Titanic or something. Yes. And the guy that orchestrated the thing, he listened to every line, and the stops, where it stops perfectly. She was gone. There's all that going on. Then suddenly the arrangement stops right where I say certain words. And then at the end, there's a big pause. And then I go into the higher register. Because I wrote it in the higher register, but Conrado said to me, "How about doing it down a bit?" I said, "It's a bit too low for me." But I said, after I'd done it, I said, it wasn't really a good vocal day for me. I was a bit tired or something, but it sounded okay. It was almost spoken in a way. But to sing it down the octave instead of right up there, leave that to the end after the big crescendo from the orchestra. Because it goes, at the end, it's like, oh God, then that high note comes in. I said to him, you could do, I just like the orchestration, you take the vocal off and just play the thing as it is. But, it turned out well. And I think it is more honest because I wasn't showing off in the lower register, if you know what I mean. I show off at the end. I come and, this is me. I'm singing up there where I usually do. But I'm very proud of that because, I'm proud of it because it means something to Beth-Ami. Every time she hears it, she cries. It's making me a little bit choked up because she was a great friend. She really was. And she deserved orchestration. She deserved the Titanic.
It's you know what, you couldn't be more beautiful than that. And what a parting gift for your friend. So really,
people don't expect that sometimes from me, but that's where I kind of started. I was very much a ballad person, with the Bee Gees, obviously back in the 60s. Yeah, well, thank you for enjoying that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I did that. And I think the listeners that listen to this interview and watch the interview, I think are really going to appreciate it and be curious on that. So thank you. So, Graham, I don't know if you have another 5 or 10 minutes, maybe just touch a little bit on the MSG and the Alcatrazz days. You have a little more time or you're getting close to your limit?
They're getting ready for me. Well, Alcatrazz, I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Things aren't good there. I don't want to give them any publicity whatsoever.
We'll skip that part of it. So tell us a little bit about MSG.
Yeah. Well, it was great to get back with Michael again. We did that tour, a couple of years ago before the fucking COVID thing happened, which was great with the other singers from his, from different albums. It was really good to do that because when I was first in the band many, many years ago, the first gig we did, I made a fool of myself, which people don't know this story, or some people do know the story. Do you know it?
I was going to ask you about it. I've read enough about it, but that was going to be my question. Tell us the true story.
Yeah, well, I had a pair of jeans. I'd had made, it's called 1 Hour Jeans. I had them made in Oxford Street in London. And they're made, so you come back, 1 hour, that's great. And when we got to the gig, White Snake with it. They were opening up for us, White Snake. And my friends were, in White Snake. And so went to the pub and started drinking. And that was, I was getting there. And I left my wallet back at the gig in the dressing room. And I go and knock on the door. And Michael's in there and he's locked the bloody door. And I said, Michael, can you open the door? I need to get my wallet. I'm going to buy some beers over at the pub, And he said, no, fuck off. I'm sleeping. I thought, what's up with you, And so, of course, it ended up me going back to the pub and getting more drunk. And by the time it's stage time, I was completely shit-faced. And I had to go on stage there were papers all the way along the stage that were of all the songs, because some of them were songs that Gary Barden had sung, and I didn't know very well, but I'd learned them from the old albums, the old MSG albums. And what happened was the audience were all very enthusiastic, and the floor monitors, where my lyrics were pushed forward by the audience, and it all got crushed up, all my lyrics. So that wasn't good. And I'm like, I was wobbling all over the place anyway. And so I started swearing at them. You fucking, really swearing at them. And they were going, yeah, fucking hell. They were shouting at me, I was shouting at them. It was ridiculous. And we started a song, and I couldn't sing. I was totally gone. And I just went, oh, fuck it. I just walked off stage, and they played the rest of the night instrumentally. And the guy one of the crew took me to the hotel. He said, they're ready to kill you, Graham. I said, and I got on the train, went back to London, and then from London to LA. I was expected to do this show, this headlining festival with Michael, and I couldn't do it. They fired me, obviously, for what I did. But, when I got back with Michael again, I actually sang the songs that I didn't get through on that particular show. Yeah. And I remember looking across at him, I did it, because I was totally drunk. And that wasn't me anymore. No. And so it was really good. And we were all friends again, But to be fired by that band, I was really upset about it, because I really loved the music we did, Yeah. But, I was an idiot, a complete idiot.
And I see that. You did the what did he call it? His sort of he had all the singers come in a few years ago before COVID. Yeah. You were part of that, and I also saw, looking at your touring schedule, there's some shows in the UK, something called the Steelhouse Festival next month, and I think you're both on the bill. So I'm assuming maybe you're going to jump up on stage with each other, play some of these songs again.
No, I don't think so, because he's on the day after us, so we're on the day before him. And then, but you never know, I don't know. I don't know if we can actually stay there for another day. I don't think so. I think we're on the road as soon as we've done the gig, But that's kind of funny. It would have been great to actually go on and do something, a song or two, whatever. Because, as I said, we're friends now, and I love Michael as a guitar player. I think he's fantastic. I love the album we did together.
Yeah, it is a classic, legendary one. We enjoy listening to it. I know Verno plays tracks from it on his Monday radio show. So they still remain alive. So talk about touring plans, Graham. I live in New Jersey, New York City area. I've actually only seen you twice, because you don't come to this way all that much. I think the last time you were around here was 2008. You played in Yonkers. Don't know if you remember that gig. And the poster behind me, my screenshot, this one, actually, I was on a business trip, 2016, I think it was, in the UK, and I had one day to myself. So I caught a train from London to Southampton, and your band was playing there, and I went down to see the show and got the poster. And I was hoping to meet you, but you were off to the hotel, and I met Beth and I met Conrado at that time. So they got the poster signed, and it's up in my heavy metal wall history, my home office. So that's a little bit about a background on there. So keeping it personal, but tell us about it. Are you any plans to tour in the States or do some one-off shows?
Yeah, no, well, now we see, at that time we didn't have American management, which we really needed. Now we have American management. They're looking at doing, more with us now, because the album's doing so well now. It's gone in the Japanese chart, it's number 17. I know that. So we always do so great in Japan. So things are looking up, and the management really wants to build up this band. Forget about Alcatrazz. They're not interested. Yeah. But that's something that's gone, and we'll see what happens with that in the future. I don't know. We're going through a court thing right now, and anyway, it's something that we really needed, was somebody to help us out to get to play here, because we never do. I think the last time I played here was, I don't know how many years ago, as our band. A long time ago, anyway. But we get a lot of gigs obviously in Europe and England. So we're going out now. We're only doing I think it's about 4 gigs, and then we come back here. And then in October, I know we've got some more gigs with what they call the Dead Daisies with those guys. So, it's, I don't know, something's going to go on in between, hopefully, because 4 gigs isn't that many to go, all that way for 4 gigs. It's like, we need more.
So, those stateside gigs with the Dead Daisies, or are they in Europe?
Sorry, what?
Are they in the States, those gigs with the Dead Daisies? Or are they in Europe?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. There might be some here and some in Europe. I'm not sure. I don't really know.
If they're stateswide, Verno and I'll jump on a plane. We'll come out to LA and come see you over there.
Yeah. I don't think we've got anything here. Well, I haven't looked at what the thing is, and it hasn't been confirmed, yet really. But we do have the date list, and I don't have it handy. I don't remember where it was, what country it is, or anything. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. So where can we usually, when we wrap up the show, we try to ask, where can we find all the information for the Graham Bonnet Band? Is the website, Twitter, Instagram, all the normal social media channels? Yeah, the normal stuff. Graham Bonnet, whatever. You'll find lots of stuff about the band and me and whatever else. Yeah. Okay. You can Google it if you like. Okay. So before we wrap this up, we wanted to get a little talk to Graham about outside Graham the musician, who you are, what your hobbies are, maybe one thing nobody knows about you at this point. I will say, I want to ask you one thing. There's a video that was out about a month ago of you tending to some birds, some poultry. So is that a hobby of yours? Chickens or roosters? No, our gardener said to Beth-Ami one day, "Do you like chickens?" And she said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Would you like some?" And so our gardener brought along chickens. So we have 2 chickens now, loads of eggs, so we look after them all day. They're great. Aren't they, Beth-Ami? The chickens. Yeah. So we have tons of eggs, but they keep hiding them. You have to sort of look around the garden to find, it's like an Easter egg.
It's Easter every day here.
Yeah.
Easter every day.
Yeah.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
That's one of our hobbies, if you will. But my real hobby or sport is cycling, which I haven't done for about 3 years. I've had a knee replacement, and I've had a lot of problem with back surgery, knee replacement. And so I'm finding it, I can't ride at the moment, and that's why I would do 30 miles a day, every day without fail. But since I've had, since this back surgery and my knee surgery, it's difficult to, balance properly. Yeah. So I'm hoping, my bike's out there now, and it's a great bike. I love it. I've been riding. That's my hobby. I've been riding for years. Yeah. I've always loved riding. You get ideas from, when you're riding along, you see things and you get ideas for songs or whatever. But that is my sport. But at the moment, my legs aren't as strong as they were, a couple of years ago because of this, the knee problem. I couldn't walk more than sort of like five minutes before I had this done, and I'd have to sit down. When I was on tour, it was terrible. I had to sit on a stool when I was singing, which isn't the greatest because you're not really, opening up properly. And so, that's that. And I can't think of anything else as a hobby. That is my main thing, really. And I'm looking forward to feeling better, physically, so I can get back to doing that, because it really helps you breathe and everything else, keeps your muscles all. I miss it. I look at my bike now and it almost makes me cry. Oh, fuck. I wish I could get on you and go ride somewhere.
Keep up the spirit.
Yeah. I mean, 30 miles a day, I think, is not bad. That's quite a good ride. Yeah.
Very good.
How much? So, and every morning without fail, I would just get on my bike and go, And now I can't do it because of, the operation on my knee and upcoming fucking things, I have severe arthritis, basically, in both shoulders, in my left ankle, my left knee. So, I put a lot of pressure on my left side because my right knee was messing me up at one point. So now my left knee is playing up a bit. But now I can walk, I'm glad to say. But the bike thing, because my shoulder's hurting, I can only raise my arm so far, Yeah. And it goes crunch, 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 crunch. And this one too. And so when I got on my bike, I found that I couldn't balance. because you're using your shoulders to balance. And I just I had to get up because it wasn't working. So now I've got to just try to ride with this pain. But it's not hurting me now, but it hurts when I do certain, movements. Playing, for instance, when I pick up my guitar and play. Pick up your guitar and play,
My 85-year-old father, I'm 52, he says to me, he's a funny guy, Graham. He says, when I tell him about all my middle-age aches and pains, he says, does your man part still work? That's all that matters at the end of the day. Don't worry about the rest of your body. How's your sex life?
That's the funny thing. Yeah, you go, wait a minute, I'm 40 speeds. Oh, no, you're not. It's, Beth, where's she gone? But anyway, yes, I mean, that's okay.
That's all that matters.
I'm glad to see that. But, hopefully, I mean, I can sort of, rotate a little bit here. But I'm going to have another go on the bike and see if I can, get used to the sometimes crunching shoulders. All the stuff in between your bones is all dried up.
Did you need something?
Huh?
Did you need something?
What?
I don't know. I heard you called me.
What are you doing?
Guitar cable.
Oh, they're going to hang me.
I am.
No, I was telling them about my shoulders that one day I'm going to be okay.
Oh, he's falling apart.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was great. It was a great discussion today. Great discussion today, Graham.
Yeah, well, thank you.
No.
Yeah, it was. We had some laughs.
We did it. We had a good. It was very insightful, very humorous, and you're a very witty man. So I'm really glad we finally got to hook up after a month of delays. But it's a good thing.
Oh, thank you, sir. Anytime, and maybe one of these days you can meet the rest of the guys and they can chime in. It'd be great if you could do that.
That would be great. We'll think about it down the road, and we'll get you back on the show, and we'll see where it goes. So I think thank you for your time today, and it was a great interview, and we're going to get this one uploaded soon, and hopefully get everybody out there and more people buying your new album. So Thanks again for your time.
Yeah. Okay, man. You're very welcome.
Great luck with your rehearsals. Nice to see you in person. Beth, if you look over my right shoulder, that's your autograph.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was telling
yes.
I was telling Graham, I'm a guy from New Jersey, and I went to a concert in Southampton in the UK in 2016. I was on a business trip, and I was talking to you after the show, and I said, where's Graham? And she said he went back to the hotel to go to bed, and you and Conrado signed the poster, and that was the end of the night. I went to the pub with some local guy and got drunk.
Wait, Southampton. I'm trying to remember. That wasn't the one where I climbed the lions. Hey, by the way, I'm from Jersey too.
Jersey.
Oh, really? What part of Jersey?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I grew up in Cherry Hill. I'm from South.
Okay, South Jersey. I'm North Jersey, but hey, that's okay. We're North Jersey up north, but still cool. Bond. A bond.
Yes.
Always a bond.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. It was nice meeting you both, and good luck with the rehearsals, and most of luck with your health, Graham, and keep that humor up in songwriting.
I'm okay.
Best of luck on the shows. Looking forward to seeing some YouTube videos from those UK shows.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. And we'll keep in touch with you guys on Facebook and social media, okay?
All right, buddy.
Yeah, too.
Thank you.
All right, please. Thank you, guys. Have a great one. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was nice.
Metal for Life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.